Loan growth, how does it look?
In what area?
Loan growth, generally speaking, at JPM.
I can't talk about current results because we're obviously going to report this week, but pretty good this year. If you look at this year's loan growth, it's been pretty good in commercial, real estate, auto, credit card. I mean, it's good. You see a healthy economy.
Let me ask you, there seems to be so much time spent in the last several years on compliance, on regulatory issues, the amount of money, time, and energy that you've generated. Do you think, given this new day that we're seeing in terms of these policies, that changes? Do expenses start coming down?
Yeah, I hope so, a little bit. I mean, look, I've asked the question, again, we have to do what the regulators demand we do. We don't have any court of appeal or any way to look at it. I think there's been a lot of things that have been done that if you go back and say, what was the effect? Like certain AML, BSA, how many bad guys did you get? I think the answer is like very little. And so when you're spending billions, the industry is spending tens of billions of dollars. I talked to a lot of community bankers, and we're the biggest bank community bankers. And if they're telling me this is stopping them from growing local loans, that's a big deal. It's a far bigger deal in the small communities they operate in. And so I think people should look at that exactly the same way. What's working? What's not working? What do you want to calibrate? Anti-money laundering, know your customer. What kind of files do we want to keep? How hard do we want to make it? No one I know, anyone in banking wants to be part of a terrorist thing or criminal activity. No one. The question is, how far do you go? What's the punishment going to be if you make a mistake? And we're automating a lot of the stuff too. So at the end of the day, we're going to be able to get some of these costs down regardless of whether there are changes in regulations.
Yeah, you've done an incredible job in terms of technology, and I want to ask you about that. But in terms of efficiency rate, you've talked about this long-term 55% target. Do you see that happening sooner rather than later as a result of this? Positive operating leverage? What's going on with regard to expenses?
Yeah, no, I think we've held expenses pretty flat, but the important part, it's after investing in technology, people, systems, ops, branches. It's easy for a company to say, well, I'm going to hold my expenses flat but not do any investing for the future. That is a long-term target of 55%. Obviously, if there's growth, and as you know, interest rates going up helps our revenue line, and if we can hold expenses flat, we'll get there much quicker simply because of that. So, but that's our target through a cycle. Sometimes we higher, sometimes we lower, but we still think that's probably rough. We're going to update that at Investor Day in February.
So do you think that you are going to see positive operating leverage as a result, partly as a result of these new policies coming in?
I hope so, but we're going to give a more update in February.
Yeah, let me ask you about the amount of money you spend on cybersecurity. I mean, I know last time we spoke it was $500 to $600 million. This is a major issue. That, along with the amount of money that you spend on compliance, I mean, these are huge expenses. Yeah. Talk to us about it. Characterize it and where does it go?
Cyber we have to do. I mean, cyber is a big deal in terms of both perimeter control, stopping people from coming in. We have extraordinary cyber capabilities. We're working very close with the government, but also inside the company. When you move money, either as an individual or as a corporation, we know what you do, when you do it, how you do it, where you do it, what your patterns are, and we stop it if there's something wrong. We look at what our own people do. We know what they upload, what they download, where they go, because we worry about the internal threat. We obviously encrypt things. We have all these protections in place, and we have disaster recovery plans if something goes wrong. So we're going to be up in business, and I think most of the big financial companies are in pretty good shape there. I think the financial companies, defense companies are way ahead of everybody else. I think it's critical for the United States of America. So this is not just a bank issue. This is an issue that everyone has to look at and say, this is, and obviously there's Russian hacking. We have to be on top of this. For some people, it's IP. For some people, it's criminal. For some people, they can be in position to cause havoc if there's a war. So we have to really do it, and we're going to do whatever we have to take.
So earnings at JPMorgan likely going up as a result of that corporate tax rate. Expenses likely going down.